Well, welcome everybody to a brand new Five Heart Podcast live on the Core Nation YouTube, Facebook, and X accounts. I'm your host, Greg Mahachko, and Minnie will be joining me as soon as she gets home. Usually, as you know, it's the other way around. Usually I'm the one sliding in here at the last second, or not past the last second, and being late, but not tonight. So family first is what we say around the Five Heart Podcast. So Minnie's tending to some family things, and at her earliest convenience, she will be here. In the meantime, how y'all doing? So good to be here with you. Lots of good comments so far. Let's see, Roger Moore says she's out shopping for clearance wine. I don't think that's the case. I'm not saying for sure. I just don't think that's the case. Roger Moore also said, go Big Red. Wade's lucky number 3. Gary Pierce was first. Says, I hope we don't get way out in the weeds and start getting bit by bugs. Well, if your neck of the woods is anything like my neck of the woods, we're starting to cool down. This morning I went for my walk. It was 46 degrees. So I do have a feeling, at least in Southern Illinois, we're going to go from summer, it's supposed to warm up again this weekend, to skip fall altogether and go right to winter. Winter is by far the worst of all of the seasons. The best season, of course, is football season. And then summer, then spring, and then fall. So I did not join the military. I did, however, get a haircut. And I realized it's like I'm spending way too much time combing my hair. So thanks, Brent. Thanks. Didn't join. God bless all of servicemen and servicewomen, the proud U.S. military. So keep them safe and thank you for their warrior, if I'm talking to you, service. So Aaron Keene is here, new look. He was pretending it didn't happen. Oh, it happened. It's a real thing. Anyway, Nebraska 4-1, 1-1 now in the Big Ten Conference after last Saturday's 38-27 win over Michigan State. It was ugly, right? Don't look at those interior quarters. Don't look at the second and third quarters where Nebraska just, I don't know, failed to show up. Didn't participate. Had an incomplete on their report card. But you look at how the game started. Nebraska goes down. They get a stop from Michigan State, and then they go down the field and score. Boom, up 7-0. Next possession, they hold Michigan State once again, and we just blow up their punt. And it was talked about. I want to say it was talked about on Sunday that they noticed that gap or that deficiency in Michigan State's punt protection, and they exploited it. It was a thing of beauty. I don't know if I've ever seen a punt blocked so intensely. He didn't take it off of his foot. He took off the foot. When you go back and watch that, the angle was right. I mean, if he was there any faster, he would have caught the ball off the snap, and it would have never made it to the punter. Carter Nelson picks it up, of course, and is right there, takes a couple steps, and he's in. It was the interior, the second and third, and it was either team, Nebraska or Michigan State, when they had to go against the wind, things really struggled. Nebraska didn't do a whole lot. They were given plenty of chances. I know, let's see here. Melissa reminded us, she says, remember last week I predicted 2 interceptions. She did. I remember it. So well done, Melissa, for calling that. And Deshaun Singleton had both of them. So it was really a solid performance by him. it was unfortunate that Nebraska just couldn't do anything after. I mean, you could look at it and say Deshaun kept Nebraska in the game from the standpoint that Michigan State was unable to move the ball any further. It was a gutsy performance from him. Special teams, we talked about the big one, right? The punt block. There was almost a punt return. I mean, technically Barney did get to the end zone, but it was called back. Yeah, you win some, Carter Nelson, you lose some. And we lost that one, with the block in the back that pulled points off the board. I do feel like, if there was a big mistake, a big bonehead play, there was a lot of balance. Like it was made up for. Or in Carter Nelson's case, the touchdown came before the block in the back. But think of Justin Evans, the center, who got a little chippy and right in front of the official hit a Michigan State defender. But, later in the game, I think it would have been the fourth quarter, he has the crushing block that springs Isaiah Hunter free for his 57-yard screen pass touchdown. That was textbook blocking on the perimeter there. And, I didn't even realize in real time that Hunter lost his shoe. He ran right out of his shoes, but that play looks different if Evans doesn't get the block on. Aaron Rostowski here says the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Week was Deshaun Singleton. Let me put some respect on his name, right? And Nebraska Strong says that the backup quarterback was much better than their starter. I do think that different skill set, right? Aiden Childs did a good job. We talked last week. I think I went on a rant about how, I wasn't afraid of his legs. And, did they play a factor? Yes, but only he wasn't going to beat us like Bryce Underwood did. He wasn't going to move the ball that far downfield, or even more, like I said, more of a Brendan Sorsby. Sorsby had the bigger run. Childs had more runs, but for, similar, like just shorter yardage, I guess. But it was in those key moments where, you're looking at third down, you're looking at a way to try to get off the field, and then he just extends their possession with his legs. So as far as their backup, Naperville, Illinois, it's a name that I'm not going to try to pronounce here. But is he much better? I think he was put in better situations. When Childs went out in the second quarter, and they got, 2 plays, 2 passes, and the touchdown, he just looked like a crisp passer. So, again, I don't know if I necessarily say that they're better. I feel like the types of quarterbacks that they are, comparing apples and oranges. Honestly, I don't think it's terribly different from comparing Dylan Raiola and TJ Lateef. They're not the same type of quarterback, so it's unfair to judge them or grade them like they are. Let's see here. Gary Pierce says that Minnie and Fred's show with the Maryland guest was pretty good. Seems other teams are as worried about their deficiencies as we are. Yeah, I think, when you're maybe not Ohio State, maybe not Oregon, I think maybe we can remove Penn State from the upper echelon of the Big Ten conversation. Maybe not Michigan. But, that next tier of Big Ten football teams, we're all pretty aware of our team's deficiencies, shortcomings. We have a pretty solid working understanding that, if they ironed these things out, this team could really take off, right? So, Gary, good insight there, and that was a solid show on Monday. Brad Wilson says that the Maryland game is a big opportunity to show the third-year growth. And he says so impressed with run defense last week. And, I think Gary alluded to it there. They don't have much of a run game, those Maryland Terrapins. So they have a really solid quarterback. And I'm not trying to jump too far ahead, but, they average about 3.3 yards per carry. Again, and the longest run against Washington was for 8 yards. So it's, should be another opportunity for the Nebraska defense to feast. Gary says again, right, Javin Wright, led all defenders, all Husker defenders in tackles with 10. Had a really nice sack as well. Vincent Shavers also had a really solid game. I think he was up there 7 or 8 tackles. I don't have the stats pulled up right now because why would I be prepared, right? There we go. Rostovsky says that Michigan State tried to copy a lot of the plays that I'm guessing Michigan here ran to gash us, stop for no or minimal gain. The defensive line did their homework during the bye. And, anytime that you can, have that opportunity, I think after the Michigan game, there were some concerns. I think some fans, there's some of that mindset of like, you just got to get back out there and go. You don't want that loss to linger too long. But like Rostovsky said, it was kind of a golden opportunity to sit back and learn and reflect. And I do think that this Nebraska team, I said it last week, this Nebraska team is different. Their mindset is different. They're built different in that I don't know if the last couple of years Nebraska beats Michigan State, all things being equal, obviously aside from the outcome. And I don't know if a couple of years ago they compete as well against Michigan as they did. There's something about, backing up to Brad's point, Matt Rule has, I think, empowered these players to actually believe in themselves. And that is crucial. Like Aaron Keene says, they don't give up. That's worth something for sure. I'm going to star that one, Husker Chuck. Nebraska Strong says 3 turnovers created by the Husker defense, and we kept Michigan State to only 86 rushing yards. Husker D gets an A grade. So just going to assume that that's all on the up and up there. Nebraska Strong. It's they're not going back to Aaron's comment, or Aaron Keene. We got dueling Aarons again. They're not giving up. They were putting a couple times. It's not the Akron game. It's not the Houston Christian game. Even going back to Cincinnati. Cincinnati just beat number 14 Iowa State. So that they are, I think, ranked now, right? Doing a quick check. All right, they're not ranked, but they are receiving votes. So, but Iowa State was ranked number 14, and Cincinnati beat them. We beat Cincinnati. I mean, I'm not a big transitive property guy. I think we discussed that last week, but that's turning into a quality win. We can't control the opponents' outcomes, when we talk about Akron, when we talk about Houston Christian, but there's a mental toughness to this team that we haven't seen in a while. So that is also encouraging. You're right. I didn't even play the Play the jingle. Everybody's disappointed. Husker Chuck says they're number 26. I guess that's a thing. Some more statistics from Rostowski. Sparty averaged 1.5 yards rushing on first down. Michigan and Cincinnati rushed for about 4.5 yards on first down. So that is, again, another big improvement. And look, we're giving the flowers to the defense, and they definitely deserve it. They stepped up in a big way in less than ideal circumstances. As far as weather, but both teams have to play in the weather. Let's flip and talk about the offense a little bit, because I was equally impressed by what the offense was able to do. 5 sacks notwithstanding. We are about to be joined there. Now it seems right, everybody. Welcome to the show.
Hello. Hi.
Hi, Minnie.
Sorry I'm late.
No, all good. We live by the motto family first. So
yeah, well, everything went wonderful today.
Awesome.
Yeah, so very happy. I don't know if you filled everybody in, probably not, but
I just said family stuff. I didn't get into specifics.
Yeah. Okay. So I think hello everyone. And yay, we won against MSU, but I'm running late because my mom got into a new program for her cancer treatment. So everything went wonderful.
That's awesome.
And just very optimistic about things. So, hey, thank you.
That is fantastic.
Yes.
We're all keeping her in our, I think there's almost a negative connotation to thoughts and prayers, but around this community, I know she's got a lot of support. So.
Oh, yeah. No, it's all so wonderful. I know you guys, you're so awesome. Everyone has been so great about, saying such positive things. It really helps. So I appreciate it.
Brad Wilson says, Minnie, awesome. Still praying. Gary Pierce says, that's great.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
And I think Aaron Key, I think this is a W for a win.
Yes.
I'm not entirely sure. So.
W. Okay.
So we spent a lot of time talking about the defensive performance and some special teams performance from last week. So we were just actually getting ready to start talking about the offense.
So the highlights. Highlights of the game. You already covered all the great stuff.
Oh, we haven't talked about the offense yet. Haven't talked
did you talk about the score?
Well, yeah, we mentioned the score, 38-27.
Yeah. Let that sink in, Greg. Like, it took me a minute. 38-27. Our first conference win of 2025 is more than one score.
It's true.
Have we turned a corner?
I did say that I don't think Nebraska teams of recent years would have won that game. And I don't think Nebraska teams in recent years would have fought and competed as well against Michigan and made it as competitive as it was.
Yes.
So there's a mental toughness. I think that's kind of what I was talking about right before you joined here. So I don't like to use the word culture, but I'll go more with foundation. The foundation that Matt Rule is building here. Like, there's a reason that every telecast that they're on, they're talking about, they reference Temple, they reference Baylor, now Nebraska, but they talk about program builder. So, I just can't say enough about him. And I think we should, let's not take him for granted. I think as a fan base, let's start there.
I don't think most people take Matt Rule for granted. It would be difficult because he's such a different coach, right? He's really leading us into this new era of college football and coming up with really innovative ways to run this team. Just even the fact that, he gave a press conference talking mainly about just how they travel, how the team travels, right? And it made me think of just recently how, oh gosh, what was the blowout that just happened? Oh, the UCLA game, right?
Mhm.
Penn State had to fly all the way across the country. And I didn't realize that's like a 6-hour flight. Did you know that?
I did not.
That's a long flight. I guess also with the travel from, what is it? College. It's not College Station. That's in Texas. It's College Park. College Park.
It's Maryland.
No, that's in Maryland. Penn State's
Just say Happy Valley.
Happy Valley. Okay. To the airport. That's like a 2-hour drive.
Right.
And then to, fly across the country to LA. And I guess you have to stay about an hour away from the hotel. I mean, all of those logistics for Penn State to get to play UCLA probably played a role in them not waking up until the fourth quarter. And I just like that Matt Rule not only does his team, all of his people plan to make it as seamless as possible for the team to get from point A to point B and make it seem almost like they're at a home game. They're eating the same food, having it prepared for them.
Huh.
Same times, everything. Everything is just on schedule, just like a normal game day. So I love that.
I do know that, LA is spread out, Pasadena is spread out, and the one time that I've been to the Rose Bowl, I think of it in Midwest miles. I don't know, maybe it was a 20-mile distance, but it took over an hour to get there just because of traffic. So I mean, there's so many factors. I don't know. Maybe as a city, Pasadena doesn't want to build up around the stadium. Maybe they don't want to affect its historic. I don't know. Whatever. It was disturbing how few people were in the stadium for that game. Probably because most UCLA fans thought there's no way we have a chance, and then the Penn State fans are it's too far to travel. It's a beautiful view. You got the mountains in the background, but when UCLA won, I remember to rush the field, there was one fan who rushed the field and was being chased by security. It was so abysmal. It was a bad look for UCLA.
Yeah. Well, I think their fans kind of had given up on them.
I mean, I can't say I blame them. I think Penn State fans giving up on Penn State now.
Do you? Oh, I don't think. You bet. You know what? If Penn State fans are that just fair weather, I mean, they need to get a new fan base then. I don't think so, Greg.
Losing in double overtime to Oregon is one thing. Oregon was ranked number 6, but losing to winless UCLA, who didn't have a head coach, offensive coordinator, or defense, they just had interim positions, that's a pretty bitter pill to swallow.
I don't know. I think there's a reason behind it. Any team can be beat on any given day. Granted, that can totally happen. But I just think that the travel definitely had to play a role in that. How could it not?
Aaron is still in disbelief that you're traveling to Penn State.
Oh, I'm not. I'm not going to Penn. Well, you know what? I take that back.
You might be able to get a good ticket.
I might. You guys, I'm going to my 3rd game. I'm going to be at USC. I'm so excited.
Well, see, you're
for the blackout.
No, you're one because you went to Michigan, right? Michigan.
I did go to Michigan. I went to Cincinnati, and now I'm going to the USC game.
Right. Time to tilt the win-loss record in Nebraska's favor. So
okay, I have a plan for that game. I'm going to show you guys the outfit that I'm going to be wearing to the blackout before I go. You guys will give it a thumbs up. It's not. It's inspired by last year when we went to Lincoln. There was these dudes walking around. They were like 8 feet tall guys, and they were walking around with big football like pad things on, and like string and fabric, just strips just coming off of it, and black jerseys and all black. And then they had like skeleton, like, see-through, like tattoo stuff. And then they wore a tattoo mask with big hair. Don't you think this sounds like an awesome outfit?
The tattoo mask has me intrigued.
I mean, I don't think I'm going to do a mask because I can't do that, but I'm thinking I might, do some like skeleton makeup. It'll be fun. Some blackout. Yeah.
Aaron Keene says fashion show wasn't on my bingo card.
Guys, okay. I try and bring it however I can, in whatever fashion it looks like for my fandom. I'm just helping the cause. We're having a blackout. I want to do it right.
Christopher Shantz, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Shantz says, I hope UCLA's win is an aberration.
Yes.
And this was brought to my attention. I saw this on social media yesterday. Rostovsky says, speaking of black, why aren't the black shirts throwing the bones? They've yet to throw the bones once this season. And I wonder if it's, I don't know if it's like not a legacy thing, but do they feel like they haven't played well enough? Now, they've been awarded black shirts, obviously, but do they feel maybe they haven't played well enough to share the same gesture that Husker legends have done for decades? I don't know.
I kind of feel like that could be it. I'm not sure. I don't want to try and get into the minds of the players and kind of what the defense's, mindset is. But they were like you brought up, they were killing it at the last game.
Husker Chuck wonders if they're afraid of drawing a taunting penalty. Christopher seconds that. And,
okay.
I don't know, because we see other teams doing it. Like how many times? We know how many times. 12 times in 2 games that Dylan's been sacked. Their defensive lineman, the defender who makes a sack, they're not, all right, cool, yeah, no, they're celebrating in some fashion. So
yeah, I don't know. We'll have to pay closer attention to that from now on.
I'll have to keep my eyes on that. And hopefully we see. I haven't seen Fred in the comments. So
Fred's not here.
Oh.
Him and Mo are traveling for the day. Well, he said he might show up if he's at a bar and has, you know what he does.
So hopefully we have plenty of the defense provide plenty of opportunities for celebrations. And Rostovsky says they're doing the Spider-Man stuff, which I don't know what that is. Wouldn't be considered any less taunting than throwing the bones. So
is it Spider-Man? Isn't that Spider-Man like that?
Yeah, yeah. But I don't know. Like I haven't seen that.
You're in my web.
So
okay, I don't know. I will pay attention to that from now on. Okay. I'm sure now that we're talking about it on this show, it'll be brought up eventually in one of the press conferences.
Right.
Because if we're noticing it, other people are. Well, one of the things that I loved, you started to talk more about offense against MSU, right?
Yes.
Are we sticking with positive notes?
Yes.
Okay, good. I have to say, on our offensive line, I love what Henry Letofsky said this week. He said, when he was asked about, the outside noise from Husker fans, that, are DMing people on Twitter, that are trying to send messages, and just, the negativity surrounding the offensive line. He said that as a unit, the offensive linemen, they've decided to don't take any advice from someone you wouldn't trade places with, because chances are that guy, that's DMing you on Twitter has not even ever played football. Or if they have, it's been years. And I loved that.
Yeah, I agree with what Keen is saying here. DMing a player directly is wild. I've never in my mind had a thought of, you know what, I'm really pissed off at this player for a reason. I'm gonna shoot him a DM and be like, you suck, because I've heard some of the reports that like they're getting some pretty nasty, hateful things, which means that those fans who are doing that probably put the drink down, put the phone down, go outside and touch grass.
You know what? It just made me think, wow, that is so mature. Just that mentality, right? And I wrote that down because I think that should be adopted just by people in general, right? Because everyone's good at something. Like, and you're gonna hear criticism for whatever it is that you're good at. Like, I decided to do this just on a whim, and I knew it was going to be really hard, and I'm not like a natural at it. But, there's some nasty comments, and it's like what you said, don't even feed them. Don't feed those people. Just stay focused on what you're doing. And you were, a major asset to me when I was learning all of this stuff to just get through that. But like, I'm an adult and I've been through worse things, and I didn't have that kind of maturity, I just think that's really great that as a team that they've taken that mentality.
Yeah, like Christopher says, don't feed the trolls. And he also says it's a great quote, so we definitely thank you for. And it's just there were times in my youth where I remember I was. This was at least 10 years ago because I was still working in radio, and the radio station was an Illini affiliate, and they were talking with one of I think it was a wide receiver, and he wasn't really using what would be considered great grammar. And I said something, about it on Twitter at the time, just poking fun at him. And I think it was the guy's brother's like, really? Is that what you got to say? And I'm like, I didn't tag the guy. I didn't do anything. It's just somebody called me out on him. All right. I tend not to be like, even during the game, I try not to call out any individual players for negative purposes. I'll say, oh, the defense shit the bed, or the offensive line needs help. But when they excel or succeed, I will, name them. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's better to bring about positivity, I think. Let's talk about the good. I mean, of course, we can sit here and say, okay, this needs to improve. Or, they already know that. Holgorsen actually had a press conference this week, and he named even like himself at calling a bad call, like a bad play design. He said that sack was on me. I called the wrong call.
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard a coach own it like that.
We used to do that all the time before Scott Frost. Scott
Really?
Frost excelled at throwing players under the bus.
Yeah, he did.
And Tony's comment there is great. He's like, I DM Luke Fickell every week and tell him he stinks. I think he got Luke Fickell confused with PJ Fleck. I feel like he should DM PJ Fleck every week. But Rostowski hits the nail on the head here. Imagine all the crap the volleyball girls get from random dudes after a loss, and probably basketball, women's basketball players. He says, thankfully not a thing this season yet, because they are undefeated. They have a home match tomorrow night on the new floor, which looks very nice. I don't have an image of it, but just go like Terra Floor or whatever the hell it's called. And it looks very nice. And Coach played a role in having that design. So, but yeah, at the end of the day, when it comes to social media, or maybe just in life in general, just be nicer to everybody.
Yes. But you know what? I agree with Aaron Keene here too. And I'm sure you will, Greg. He says, I think realistic criticism is good in a public chat setting like this. DMs are over the line. And he followed that up with especially personal attacks. Absolutely. But yeah, that they're getting, and I read Nebraska Strong said, these are paid players now. So yes, they invite by putting themselves out there like this, they are inviting some criticism. I get that. I'm just saying, like, exactly what Aaron Keene said. Let's not take it over the line there.
And Nebraska Strong, he talking about Isaiah Hunter. Says where he ran out the back of the end zone and curled back against Michigan. Yeah, it was unacceptable, but we don't have to no death threats for it, or
right.
Just, I don't believe much in karma.
Let's not no death threats on that.
Please. Yeah, just hey, no death threats across the board. Let's just do away with that. So
yeah. But Greg, I don't know. Are you taking your vitamins or something? What's going on with you?
I try when I remember. Why?
Because this optimism is kind of makes me want to smile. I almost don't even know what to do with it coming from you.
I tell you, I've always been positive and optimistic. I don't know what. Sometimes in the off season, when the off season is long and seasonal depression hits, then I have to channel my inner John Johnston and just be a contrarian. But by and large, I'm a big Nebraska supporter. I want them to do well, and I think they are doing well.
Yeah.
Their only loss of the season was a 3-point loss to what is now a top 15 team. So we can, team no death threats. That's us. Woo!
I never in my life thought I would be talking about this. But
which part?
There you go. The death threats thing. I mean, you brought it up, but I don't think anyone's getting death threats. Oh, Caden's here. Caden, hi.
I don't know Caden.
Oh, you don't know Caden. Too bad. Or shame.
Cade, knock, knock. The badass Bucky is here.
He's my buddy. Him and I have rounds on Sunday nights. He believes in his team so strongly, this guy, Caden, that he actually bet his internal organs that his team would beat Texas. And they did. So he's still living.
Why did I feel like that was a story that got a little traction and made some headlines across the way?
Oh, I have no idea. Probably, but yeah.
Caden, the diesel freak.
Yep.
Vince Watson says, must be a nut job. Oh, yeah. Whoa.
Yeah. Well, okay, so you were also going to talk about Dane Key, right?
I was going to talk about Dane Key.
Okay.
What
did you dig up, Greg? What did you dig up on our Dane Key?
It got brought up. It got brought up on Sunday night, and I can't remember if it was Haas or Jake, and I want to say that it was Haas that said, maybe some people are maybe a little showing frustration or slow to warm up to the transfer portal acquisition because maybe they feel like he hasn't earned the bag, so to speak, and maybe it hasn't earned what hasn't played to the level they thought he should. I pulled some stats, and through 5 games, 16 catches, 226 yards, 3 touchdowns. Last year at Kentucky, for a full season, had 47 receptions, 715 yards, 2 touchdowns. Then he, as a freshman, he had 37 receptions, 519 yards, and 6 touchdowns. And in 2023, 42 receptions, 636 yards, and 6 touchdowns. So I actually feel like he's kind of right on his personal pace. We have 7 games left. I think he's going to continue to be more comfortable. Correct me if I'm wrong. He and Dylan are roommates.
Yeah.
So, I do think that, he's already, as far as scores, he's already beat last year's production. He's right around his average for average yards per catch. Obviously, a smaller sample size. But I think the biggest thing for Dane is that he just needs more opportunities. He doesn't have a ton of targets this year. It's been a lot of checkdowns. It's been a lot of Ja'Cory Barney. It's been a lot of Emmett Johnson out of the backfield. Luke Lindenmeyer certainly is getting his opportunities. And Isaiah Hunter's a dynamic playmaker. We saw that Saturday against Michigan State. We've seen that elsewhere. Dane Key just needs to kind of find his role and settle into a way that, exactly. James says Dylan has enough playmakers to spread around. It can't always. I think Dane is right where, statistically he's proven to be. So.
Oh yeah. Well, but Greg, you're only reading like the catches and that sort of thing. But another job of our wide receivers, which we haven't had much of this in the past. So I understand why you're not talking about it, because it's a kind of a new phenomenon to us. Yeah, he's blocking. In fact, Holgorsen did. Oh my gosh. Uh-oh.
I was waiting to see
what just happened. Well, should we do our little thing?
I think we should just let the thing do the thing.
Okay. Well, welcome, Eric. Well, are you gonna say what happened?
Oh, sorry. Aaron Rostowski became a YouTube member, and he says, "I want to hear the member thing," which means he probably signed up for a month last time, and
he's just
renewing it now. So, with that being said,
we just got a new YouTube member.
And speaking of members, do the very best for your member by hooking it up with Blue Chew. Go to BlueChew.com.
We have to take care of our members. Okay. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for becoming a member. And if anybody else would like to become one, you get that little jingle.
He was very excited. We are easily amused here at the 5 Heart Podcast.
I guess we were being too serious. He's like, wait a second. Okay. Break. Time out.
Hello, work harder. Hello to North Dakota. Hello to all the Dakotas, really. North Dakota, South Dakota, Dakota Fanning, if you must. Back to Dane Key. Raji says that he was open several times against Michigan State.
Yeah. Well, it was also a matter of like Holgorsen said, and I didn't actually get to finish my thought because I interrupted myself. Fred is here. See, there he is. He's back.
The rumors of my death have been greatly exaggerated. Thought I was dead. Turns out I was in Des Moines. and somewhat drunk. Have fun, kids.
There
Honestly,
he is.
I think Fred, you should stick around. Drunk Fred could be a lot of fun.
I think we get drunk Fred often.
And then Husker Chuck says, "Why do I have a grin stuck on my face?"
I have no idea.
All right, Dana Holgorsen.
It's not going to come back. What were we talking about before that?
Dane Key, blocking in the run game.
I think I told you more than I can remember. Sorry.
But you're right. You're right. We are seeing a resurgence of perimeter blocking downfield, blocking from our receivers and tight ends.
Okay, I know. I'm going to write down my thought.
All right, you do that while I address this super chat from Caden. Until Nebraska beats Ohio State, they're as overrated as Iowa and as terrible as Wisconsin. Well, Caden.
Why, Caden? Why?
That might be the last comment we read unless you pay us. So.
He doesn't mind paying us.
Oh, good.
Thank you, Caden, for the $5 super chat, by the way. Okay, so here's what I was going to say. Holgorsen made a point to point out that. I love that.
Ohio State's going to lose to Michigan again. We won't have to worry about Ohio State in the Big Ten championship. That'll piss them off.
Oh, who do you think is going?
I don't know. It's not
very likely that if
we're not in divisions anymore. Isn't just like the two teams with the best record, right?
Not now. Not this year.
Right. What are the divisions? How are they breaking this up?
Poor Kaylee. Poor Kaylee.
Aaron Keene says, imagine paying $5 to comment a bad take.
Right.
I'm trying to highlight that one too. I apologize.
How about you just stop using your finger there? Yes. Poor Kaylee just got here, and this is what she had to see. Thank you so much, Caden. You're giving some of our fans a bad experience. Can you say something positive now?
Nah.
Okay.
This one seems to track Michigan and Oregon.
Maybe.
That's what I thought. It's the best two. No divisions. Just chaos.
Yep. Okay, so what I was going to say is Holgorsen did talk about how Emmett Johnson was able to score because Dane Key took his cornerback out and then also was able to get the safety to double team him and block so that Emmett could score.
Yeah.
This is so important. I mean, this is something that is as equally important as scoring.
And it's something that, doesn't show up in the stat sheet like receptions, yards per catch, and touchdowns. But it's incredibly important. We have seen a much better run game performance this season than we have in seasons past. Like I know early on, Emmett was on pace for being a 1,000-yard rusher. I think he had 100 yards in the first couple of games, or 100 yards each in the first couple of games. That kind of slowed down a little bit, but it's just nice that he's the go-to guy. He's not necessarily sharing the load. It's not running back by committee. We haven't had that in a number of years. We haven't had that since, the Mike Riley era. I think, maybe early Scott Frost, but like Divine Ozigbo being our last 1,000-yard rusher, like we're Nebraska. We should be able to crank out 1,000-yard rushers.
Yes. Good point, Greg.
So,
the other thing that Holgorsen said, real quick. Well, Caden, I like that you put the little devil face up there. because that's exactly who you are. You're the little devil.
And Josh is here. And Aaron Keene says, BFOTS Josh, did you tell Greg that we met in person? Aaron Keene and Josh Hansen have now met in person.
What?
Yeah.
Shut up.
Like, okay.
That is such a cool thing. How did I miss this? When?
Just happened late last week, or I think late last week.
All right, guys. Somebody has to tell us everything about the other person. Actually, both of you should.
All I know is that Aaron was driving through. He was in Western Nebraska, stopped at Josh's office, didn't do any business, didn't do a transaction, but like, hey, cool. So it was completely a thing that happened.
Well, I'm jealous, totally jealous, because, I didn't know till just now. Greg, thanks so much. You can at least send me a little note saying, hey, guess what? When you find these things out, this is good news. Guys, get together and tell us when you do, please. I love that.
Well, I was hoping that one of them had the bright idea to get a picture. We could,
oh, they didn't even take a picture?
Media. And Josh is like, we're not junior high girls, Greg.
Darn. That would have been great, too. Pictures next time, guys. I don't take pictures very well. I don't do that either. But I will in the future, I promise. I like what Husker Chuck says. He says to Caden's comment, he said, I can understand the overrated like Iowa, but we crushed Wisconsin last time we played them, and they are worse now. So what do you have to say to that, Caden?
I still don't think we're overrated like Iowa. Like, we have legitimate national championships. Iowa has participation banners. So, All right.
Okay, so the other thing, can I just please get through this last thought that keeps
I'm not trying to upset you.
No, you're not upsetting me. No, I know that. It's just we're moving along and I'm not ready yet. Holgerson also said that he asked Dylan who was hot, apparently, because I've never played football, so I don't know this. But the quarterback can feel when somebody's hot, like they're catching balls, they're making plays, they're doing that extra little thing to get that extra play or that extra, I don't know.
Yeah, so think of it in like basketball, right?
I don't play basketball either.
Okay, but if you have like a Steph Curry, Steph Curry is an amazing shooter. But if you have a teammate who's just in the zone, who's everything he's throwing up there is hitting the bottom of the net, you feed the hot hand. And I think that's all Dylan is saying is
yes,
he's feeding the receiver that's producing the most at that time in that game in that moment. So
yes, and apparently he said, well, Isaiah is, and so Holgerson agreed, and he said, well, in this play, I would have done everything I could to get it to Isaiah because he would have found a way to get open. So I don't, there's so much, that's what I'm saying. There's so much going on behind the curtain that we don't know. And sometimes they let us peek in to those types of things. And I'm like, oh, now I can rewatch the game and just look for an Isaiah Hunter and see, oh, I see what they're talking about. I love that.
Gary Pierce also says sometimes they know they have a mismatch as well. So,
I think
it was really good. Credit to the announcers, or maybe maybe they've been saying it for years and I just haven't been paying attention. But, they're doing I think the announcers last week did a really nice job of giving, particularly the analyst, giving reasons why, why are we calling an audible? Why are we putting a man in motion? We have a pretty good understanding. If you have a receiver running, across the field pre-snap, if the defensive back follows him, you got a pretty good assumption that you're in man, and if they don't, zone. So just little tidbits of that. These quarterbacks, they're playing chess. We're watching, a game of checkers. There's a lot that's going on up here that, like I said, if they're seeing a mismatch or an area of the field they can exploit, they're going to get fast hands, fast feet into that area. So it all makes sense. And at the end of the day, Nebraska got a nice win. So
you got another super chat there, Greg, to read. Funny, we're getting all these super chats. You guys realize that we do have a new member jingle if you feel so inclined.
You do realize also that none of this money goes to us. It all goes to John. So.
Oh, hey, we're having fun.
True. Fred for $5.
And they're keeping the channel alive, Greg.
Fred says, ask Des Moines bartender about crudité. She said, nah, my dad don't beat me. I need to go home.
What?
I don't know. That's a Fred one.
Okay.
Let's see.
All right. Well, I love what you said about Dane Key. Maybe we'll see more of him.
I think give him time, give him the rest of the season. I think his numbers will reflect his career average. So
okay.
And that's all just a long way of saying I don't think we were sold a false bill of goods. So
hey, the other person that we can talk about on offense is Dylan Raiola.
We already did.
When?
At the beginning of the show.
What'd you say?
He played great.
What else?
He played really good.
You did not.
He had that nice pass into the wind where he actually put some zip on it and helped set up that touchdown in the third quarter. Didn't wobble all the way down there. We said very, very complimentary things and we're ready to move on. Just kidding.
You know what Holgorsen said?
No. What did he say?
He said Dylan was getting knocked around. He admitted that. And he said that you get a little loopy when you get knocked around so much. He also said Dylan is the one who gave us that spark to get out of it in the third quarter. Definitely. And that is what a true leader does.
Tony claims that I said he looked super mobile. That's false.
No.
BFOTS Josh Hansen says he missed some reads, but we lose that game without him.
Thank you, BFOTS Josh Hansen, for the win. Yes.
I think there's a
and Barney on special teams especially. Sorry, Greg.
Well, Barney also had the catch, that long catch in the third quarter into the wind.
Yeah, I know. BFOTS. Josh Hansen. Okay. So should we talk about our offensive line? What Holgorsen said about them?
Yes. If it's positive, because we're only keeping it positive.
It is. It's positive. He said
There's some guys comments as well. So
some guys had some MAs, but they're not many.
And of course, you know what an MA is.
I do. Of course I do. That's why I used it. Okay. And I know everybody else here knows. I'm just like trying to impress you guys with my knowledge. Okay. Elijah and Gunner, he says, just got to keep improving every day. They're the guys we're going with, and they just need to keep improving.
To that point, we have some Elijah and Gunner comments.
Okay.
920. Husker Chuck says, I wish our tackles would flip sides, but we seem to be sticking with Pritchett at left tackle and Gunner at right tackle. Raji says, our offensive line made improvements with Gunner at right tackle and Elijah at left tackle. Our interior line has played quite well. And Raji also says, in response to Husker Chuck, that Gunner is a natural right tackle and plays his best there. Elijah plays better at right tackle than he does at left, but Elijah is better left tackle than right. So all uplifting, I would say, messages at the end.
I think so. You know, let's look at the depth behind these guys, okay? We have Turner Corcoran, we have Teddy Prohaska. Turner, we mentioned, was even used as the tight end in one play, the extra lineman. So there's so many wonderful things that experience that they bring to the table will give to our offensive line. But these are the guys that are the future that they want to go with. So I'm excited that they finally decided on like a starting front five.
Not like the or.
Yeah.
Chart.
Yeah. That gives, I know that these guys have to fight and make sure that they're at the top of their game every single week, but it gives them, that stability in working together as one group. And I think you desperately need that more than any other, position group out there. You need to be able to work together on the offensive line to, do your best at, like he keeps saying, protect the quarterback at all costs. That's his job.
I think it's, for Nebraska fans, we have to mitigate our expectations and realize that it's highly likely that Elijah Pritchett's going to cost us 5 to 10 yards, crucial yards every game. And we hope that the athleticism, the other, I don't know, sometimes 65 snaps, depending on tempo and play selection, we just hope that balances it,
It does. And that's the thing that you have to really look at.
That's what I'm saying. That's why, if he is your most athletic left tackle, and I said this last week, then you just have to play him, and you have to play him knowing that at some point you're going to want to smack him in the back of the head, preferably without the helmet, unless you hurt your hand.
But as Holgorsen also said, he said, Justin Evans was like player of the game, which nobody's even talking about that. What a great center we have. Nobody's even talked about, even mentioned Justin Evans' name.
I mean, we did earlier on the show.
Okay, maybe you have, but nobody else is, Greg. And guess what? He's there every single snap. Every single snap.
Somebody in the comments said that it was a top 10 block in Nebraska football history on the screen that Isaiah Hunter took for a touchdown.
Wow. See, now I'm going to rewatch the game tonight. Okay, so anyways, that's what Holgorsen said, is that he was the MVP of the MSU game, Justin Evans. But even Justin Evans had that 15-yard penalty, right?
Yeah, Husker Chuck said he got noticed when he got a 15-yard penalty on 3rd and 1.
Yes. And I'm sure he
And
won't do
I
that
think
ever again.
the most bewildering part about that was it was right in front of an official. And look, the rule is because the Michigan State player was, initiating, but they always get the second guy. It's always the second guy that draws the penalty. So if he'd have just walked back to the huddle, Nebraska's looking at a 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1 maybe situation, and instead they march back 15 yards. It drove me banana.
Yeah. One of my buddies from college gave me some good advice that I need to share with our team and chat. He said, if you're going to break one law, don't break 2 at the same time. Only break one law at once. The reason being is because the eyes are on you. If you're breaking the law, you're going to get caught or whatever. You don't want to be breaking 2 laws because they're going to haul you off. Not that I've ever broken any laws, but I thought this was so funny back in those days. So if you are in those positions, 3rd and 1, make doubly sure that you are not breaking any laws. You're not breaking any rules. Like, that is the most crucial time, right?
Gotta make good choices.
Yes. Break one law at a time.
Holgorsen had some good things. Mike Eckler had some good things to say in a press conference this week. And again, special teams is showing out. What a difference a coach can make from being anemic, abysmal, horrendous, atrocious last year to now. I think he said that he wants Nebraska to have the most punt returns. He says, get us the most punt returns in the country, and we'll figure out like the average there. And at the end of the season, we just want to have the most punt returns. And we saw, we've seen more punt returns this season than we have the last couple of years combined. So just kudos to him. It's great to see him energizing that group that part of the team did on the blocked punt. The return they got called back. He's all in, and it's really great to see that effort.
Yep, it is. Whew. That's what won us this last game, Greg.
No,
that
team
effort. Yeah. But you have to have a leader in that. We have a true leader in Dylan Raiola.
Let's see. There's a comment up here about Dylan I saw. Kaylee says, it speaks to Dylan's talent and maybe the flaws of the offensive line that we are number 9 in passing yards per game, but 104 in rushing yards per rush, 105 in rushing yards per game, and 118 in quarterback sack percentage. That or Dylan holds on too long. Well, he does that too. It's a mix of both, Kaylee, I think. But I think Dylan's starting to realize that if he wants to prolong his career, he's got to get rid of the ball faster. We saw that after the last sack on Saturday. He got up off the field and he acknowledged, he looked to the sideline and the cameras caught it. He said, that's on me. He knew right away he just held on the ball too long. So, I think it's a mix of both. Look, nobody, there's not a single player on this team that is the best version of themselves from a football player standpoint. They all have, areas that they can improve. And if they all do it in a Nebraska uniform, sky's the limit.
I'm not so sure about that, Greg. Have you looked at our kicker from Sunny Slope High School, just over the mountain right here, Kyle Cunanan? He was probably besides the long snapper, Because you guys all know how I feel about our long snapper. Well, we're not talking about it. It's a good season if we're not talking about the long snapper. But our kicker is fantastic. He's only missed one.
Yeah.
One.
He was an important one.
We can count on him, is what I'm saying.
Sure, but it was an important
Greg,
field goal.
Break. Are you 100% all the time? No.
No. But I'm saying that's what I'm saying. That they can all improve. I can improve.
He's 99.9999%. Okay. I love this kid. Kyle Cunanan, number 93.
You want to play that Greggle tune?
Why? What are you doing?
I'm nothing. Just.
I love that song.
He's a 75% field goal kicker.
90. Did you say 95?
No, I said 75%.
Oh,
field goal kicker in his career.
Almost a heart attack.
This year, he's 87.5%.
Because of that one miss. One.
A couple years ago in Charlotte, he was 9 of 15. So that's only 60%. So again,
I didn't watch those games. I don't know what the situation was in Charlotte, but I do know. Guess who watched those games? Mike Eckler. What?
I'm just saying they all can improve.
Okay.
Maybe if he were the best version of himself, he wouldn't have missed that field goal against Michigan. We would have.
It was. I mean, how do you know? I don't personally know what made him miss. Could it have been a slightly off snap?
Now you're blaming the long snapper.
Well, remember what I told you at the beginning of the season? I said it's 31%, or was it 32? I forget how the math gets divvied up there. 32%, then 33?
6%? We're trying to get to 100?
Yeah, I'm trying to get to
33.3.
So there's 3 phases of special teams. The snap, the hold, the kick.
Yeah.
Okay. And the other 2, the snap and the hold, are slightly less than the 30. Then thank you, Husker Chung. He knew what I was trying to get at. So if those other 2 phases are not perfect, then the kicker can't have that 34% percentage accuracy. 100% of 30%, 34%.
Do you say 100% of 30%?
34%. Yes, I did.
Arian Keene says, note to self, don't ask Minnie to do my taxes.
Yeah. That's why there's calculators.
Steiner math, and there will be a few people in the chat who understand that one.
Yep.
No. Kyle Cunanan has only missed 1 field goal this season, and let's hope that that's all he misses this season. So.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Oh, a Yogi Berra reference. Minnie, do you know who Yogi Berra was?
No, but I don't feel like this is a good thing.
No, he's fine. He's a Hall of Fame baseball player, but from 100 years ago.
No, I do know who Yogi Berra is, okay. But I don't know what the reference was, impression is. And my buddy, I haven't seen him forever, Trinidad. It's so good to see you, my friend. I'm going to come visit you soon, I promise.
Well, Yogi Berra's most famous quote is that 90% of the game is half mental.
You giggled that. I know you did.
Of course I did. I can't remember shit.
Yeah, this is what I was thinking of. The picnic basket.
That's Yogi Bear. Woo boo boo. Picnic basket.
That's what I thought you meant. Okay.
He lives in Jellystone Park.
Yes. Yes.
Shout out to the great the great Hanna-Barbera cartoons of yesterday.
Those were great. They were great. Okay, so did
Aaron
you talk
wants to
about
know if this friend is better than your last friend, Minnie?
which friend are we talking about?
Is Trinidad better than Caden?
Caden, okay. Caden likes to give me crap. He likes to fight with me because he believes that Ohio State is the best team of all time ever. But he doesn't realize that Nebraska used to be the best team of all time ever. And like I try to explain to him all the time that guess what? It's going to happen to Ohio State too. You guys are going to become the laughing stock of college football, just like we did. Just brace yourself, okay? And we have lived through it and we're still here. We're okay, right?
Yeah, we're just about 20 years ahead of where they are or will be.
Yes. But my friend Trinidad wasn't even a fan of Nebraska before he met me. He became a fan because of me, and I don't even know if he's for sure a fan, but he hangs out with us. Yes, so he's great. He's not gonna come in here and slam Nebraska, is what I'm trying to tell you guys.
This is a great one from Husker Chuck. They will have some down years, and they will not sell out their stadium when they do. Yeah, Ohio State.
That's for sure.
Are finicky bunch. So.
Yeah, they are not even cheering when they're winning.
Well, they're crazy.
Yeah. So,
no. Oh, while we're talking about,
like I'm cheering. It's not like I'm waiting and cheering for their demise. I don't want that, but I just know that history repeats itself. It will happen.
Oh, you mean you're not rooting for Ohio State's demise?
Greg, don't.
Don't what?
Don't.
Don't what?
No. Why?
I am 100% rooting for Ohio State's demise.
I know you are.
100. Yeah, no, 200%. I want to donate to causes towards the demise of Ohio State football.
I don't know if there are any causes. You can donate to Michigan.
Probably donate to Michigan, yeah. So, yeah, I don't want to do that either. That's no better. All right, so we're talking about offense. Nebraska Strong says, I'm very concerned that Raiola is going to get injured if he keeps getting hammered 5 to 7 times a game every week. And, we talked about that. A lot of that is on him. He just needs to get rid of the ball sooner. They also need to, have plays designed for him to get rid of the ball quicker. Quick slants, screens. Just, if I see another screen pass on 3rd and 15, bad things will happen. Like that's so rarely is that successful that it's not worth doing. Try to get to the sticks. Try to get to the marker. That's all I got to say about that.
Well, and like Holgorsen actually announced to everybody in Husker world, number one job, protect the quarterback. Like he's okay. Imagery, guys, okay? I'm a new mother. I've got my little baby here, okay?
I thought you were going to go and get a beard and do an impromptu 5-heart.
No. But when I was a new mother and I had my little baby and it was late at night and I was carrying her out, walking her out to the car, and the sidewalk was uneven and I stumbled because there weren't any lights. Normally, I would stumble and fall forward and land on my knees and hands. But because I was carrying my baby, some superhuman thing took over my body and I turned around and fell backwards, protecting my little baby. This is what our offensive line needs to do. Exactly what a new mother would do to protect their child, okay? at all costs. It's just an illustration. That's all I was trying to do. Just illustrate. That's how important it is.
Yeah, protect the quarterback. And Raji says quarterback also needs to protect themselves as well. That's why they wear the helmet, man. Yeah, it does seem to be a bad idea for the offensive line to turn their backs on the defensive line.
Okay, I get that. But I was just
the
trying
baby
to.
was a metaphor.
Yes. I didn't think I could ever fall any other way other than like the way gravity was pulling me. But some, like I said, some like superhuman thing takes over your brain and you're like, my baby can't get hurt. Okay? That's what I mean. Protect your baby.
I have no words.
Okay. Greg, I know you know what I mean. You're a dad. And I know everybody else here knows what I mean.
Who's a parent? We don't want to make assumptions.
Yeah, exactly. Or even if you have an animal that you love, a pet. I know you know.
What the hell is the name of the pregame speech area?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Does it have a name?
I don't know. Okay. So
hey,
have you talked
to join us?
Pitt. Hello.
Good to see you, Pitt. Pitt, while you were away, there were I earned 15 Pitt points because I said touch grass. So if you could put those on my tally, I'd appreciate that.
Okay. So have you talked about the Maryland game coming up?
No, we try to do things in chronological order.
Greg, do you realize we're almost an hour and a half in?
Yes.
Okay.
But luckily, there's such a fantastic conversation about the upcoming Nebraska-Maryland game that we can get the abridged version and then send people to go back if they haven't and watch or listen to Monday Night Therapy with Minnie, Fred, and special guest from Testudo Times.
Matt Germack.
Sure is.
Okay. You want to start?
Maryland is also 4-1.
Yep. No, they aren't. Yeah, they are. Okay. Yes. You're right. You're right. Keep going.
They had a nice win against Wisconsin. Not so nice outing, or at least second half, against Washington, which brought up the question that Tony said Maryland collapsed against Washington in the second half. What do you make of that? I make of that, and Minnie, actually, you did some research, so maybe you should share what you made of that.
Well, this is interesting. You guys know we love our prep time, getting ready for you all here on Thursday nights at the 5 Heart Podcast. Greg and I put hours of prep time into this show, even though it doesn't show. And last night, Greg just mentioned just happenstance. Just, hey, I wonder if they're not very good in the second half. And I said, what do you mean? He goes, well, you said that Washington came back in the second half. I said, oh, yeah, not till the fourth quarter, though. And I said, Greg, let me look at those statistics while you're mentioning it. Guys, here's the deal. Maryland doesn't score in the second half of games. They've scored 2 touchdowns total and a field goal in the 5 games they've played. As well as this is when almost all the teams they've played against score. So somehow, and Greg mentioned this, he's like, so it sounds like they get gassed in the second half. I'm sure our coaches already have figured this out, but so did Greg Mahochko.
If they haven't figured it out, I'm due a pay raise. Yeah, so you said 1 touchdown and 2 field goals, or 2
touchdowns, 1 field goal. Mm-hmm.
I go back to the Wisconsin game. They didn't, it was a win, and I think at the time we thought a lot more of Wisconsin than Wisconsin ended up being, but they only scored once after they were up 20-0 at halftime, and they got outscored. Granted 10-7, but they still got outscored on a team that they were cruising past. They couldn't really do anything wrong in that first half, so you have to wonder. I can't really credit Wisconsin's halftime adjustments. I think there may be something in College Park where, I'll say this about Matt Rule. He's got these guys pretty well conditioned, and maybe that's not the case for Maryland. I don't know. I know you never think highly of Wisconsin, Tony. But they do have awesome cheese and good beer.
Yeah. I wouldn't doubt it.
I'm not. I got to address this quickly, and I apologize because this is not football related. But Tony, what is Minnesota like? What's their food that they're known for? I'm just curious. I've never heard of and don't come at me with lutefisk because nobody wants that. So,
fish.
Yeah, that's.
Don't they have the land of 10,000 lakes?
Yeah, but you can only eat so much fish, and then it.
No, you could eat fish I could eat fish every day. It's good for you, Greg.
What am I doing? What choices am I making that are good for me from a food standpoint? So
yeah, see, right there, walleye.
Give me brats and beers and cheese over walleye. I'm sorry, Tony. Anyway,
I've never had walleye. I bet it's good though. I would love some walleye.
All right, I interrupted you. What were?
Don't if you're going to interrupt me, I lose all train of thought.
Well, you're talking about Maryland and their endurance, we'll say.
Oh, okay. Guys, I know this is going to be like I'm gossiping, okay? I'm not. He put this out there for the rest of the world to see, okay? Mike Locksley. You remember back in 2020 and then part of 2021 when things were kind of off limits, and if you wanted to interview somebody or have a press conference, they had to do it in their own private office. Okay, remember?
Mm-hmm.
I think we all remember, unfortunately. Mike Locksley, when he would give his interviews behind him, imagine I'm a little overweight, okay? Or maybe a lot. And I just have my shelves kind of with some snacking foods, let's call it. Some opened boxes of Pepperidge Farm cookies and some chips and things like that. And just the fact that he had that stuff on display for his interview made me think, okay, what kind of discipline? If this guy can't even hold it together in an interview with his addiction to junk food, how good is his team? That's all I'm saying.
Just dawned on me that I didn't have dinner.
Hey, Trojan fight. Okay.
So yeah, I would have never come up with that theory, but I never watched any Mike Locksley press conferences. Someone said
That's because you probably have them in your pantry.
What? Food?
The junk food.
Oh, of course I do.
I know.
Raji says,
And you're not a football coach. I
True.
just feel like football coaches should like embrace what they're having their players do. Like,
are you familiar with Mark Mangino?
no.
You just do a quick Greggle image search on Mark Mangino.
Okay, I'm not doing it right now.
Okay.
Yes, they are horrible.
Sometimes in coaching, or Rex Ryan, pre stomach sleeve or whatever it's called, gastric bypass surgery, maybe.
Some people do have problems with their weight. I get that. I get it.
Sure.
I'm not judging. I'm just saying, like, clean up your freaking area.
Oh, I got you.
Before an interview.
I thought you were talking about like what they're consuming.
Yeah. If he's eating that stuff, I assume his team is too.
Otherwise, it's a rules for thee, not for me situation. Justin Raji said a little bit ago, or actually just a few minutes ago, I think Maryland's pass game may be a bit of a paper tiger. When we look at, they're 4-1, they have wins. Oh, no. Big wins over Florida Atlantic. They opened the season 39-7 win over Florida Atlantic. 20-9 win over Northern Illinois. Yes, the same Northern Illinois that chased Scott Frost out of town. 44-17 win over Towson. Towson? I'm assuming Towson.
Yes, thank you, Greg. You can't even pronounce the name.
Thank you. 27-10 win again over Wisconsin. And then last week, losing on the road at home against Washington, 24-20. So, like, it's not. I think that our Big Ten win is a better quality Big Ten win than them beating Wisconsin, and I think that our non-conference schedule is better. Maybe Houston Christian. I think Houston Christian's got to be at the same level of Towson. Akron in Northern Illinois, I think Akron's, based on their off the field troubles with academic eligibility and things like that, probably led, maybe Northern Illinois is probably a little bit of a stronger program, but Cincinnati's clearly a better team than Florida Atlantic. So if trying to compare the two teams, I definitely think that Nebraska is the better team. I think they're a more complete team. We have a rushing game. We have a pass defense. Like, I think that we're going to be okay on Saturday.
They do. I mean, I'm not going to lie, Greg. On Monday, Fred and I had a guest on from Maryland, and he gave us the whole scoop. We talked for 40 minutes on Maryland, okay? But essentially, I'm going to boil it down for you into numbers. 1-4-5 on offense, okay? 2-29 on defense. These are the players that we need to look out for.
I was like, what are we talking about? I was like, 1-4-5 what? Are these stats? Are you going to go at 1? I was very confused for a minute.
There you go. So, I mean, they have playmakers. We will keep our eye on them. I'm sure that they've already, schemed with how we're going to, win against certain playmakers.
Not a whole lot more to, I don't know. Is there more to talk about, or do we think that are we comfortable? Because let's see, Raji says 6 yards per pass, 60% completion, 183 attempts is not very efficient.
It's their defense.
Are we worried about their defense?
Their defense, yeah. Oh, yes. That's what I said. 2-29, guys.
Two players on defense.
Well, their defensive line is actually pretty good, but they bring in these other two guys on the edge, right? That rush the quarterback. And they could be a headache. 2-29. We don't want that. We gotta protect our tackles need to be, yeah, they need to be on it.
Husker Chuck says Nebraska clearly the better team, favored by almost a touchdown on the road.
Yep. He also says concerned about their pass rush. That's about it. Yeah, they can't run the ball. That's for sure.
There's not, realistically, unless we see improvements by leaps and bounds from this offensive line, consistency, and maybe the 5 guys that we saw, with Elijah and Gunner in place that we saw last week, maybe they'll start to have some more cohesiveness. But unless we start to see that unit improve, offensive line's always going to be our biggest question mark, right? So
yeah. So you mentioned some teams that, okay, I looked into. So I'm like, who the heck are they? Northern Illinois is the only team that they have played against that's even won another game.
Outside of like Washington, right?
Well, I don't count that. I'm saying that they beat. Well, Wisconsin has. What are you doing?
There's a cricket. I can hear a damn cricket. You can't hear the cricket?
Can you guys hear it?
Nah. I'm not going crazy.
Oh, I heard it. I can hear it.
It's down in the basement. They make their way down the stairs. It's a lot of smacking them with my slides on the way up the stairs all the time.
All right. That just sounds mean.
Sorry. Trojan fight. Maryland can't run it. 128th in rushing yards. It's going to be a good day for our front seven. I think so. Christopher says a good dose of Emma Johnson should help. And, James says they have 19 sacks this season. Our offensive line sucks. I expect a low-scoring game in the rain. But it's not supposed to rain until later in the day. And, again, 19 sacks against some really, shit competition, we have 12 sacks in the last 2 games, but at least it's Michigan State,
And, again, what is Matt Rule doing to prepare for rainy conditions? I'm glad you asked, Greg.
What's he doing to prepare for rainy conditions, Minnie? I didn't know anything about that.
They played. No, I know this is going to sound really bad coming out of my mouth. They played with wet balls. Okay, footballs, people.
Right. No, we know what you meant. We're just a little shocked that you still said it.
Well, that's what he said.
Rule said they are practicing with wet balls with a Z.
I told you.
And Gary calls back to Fred from Monday. It's a combo of blocking and play calling. You can't keep calling the same fail play over and over. Kaylee says regarding Maryland, the only thing they have going for them is they don't throw interceptions and they protect the quarterback. However, they are 14 in defensive sack percentage and 4th in defensive red zone scoring. I don't think that's enough to – and then she got sidetracked by wet balls.
Kaylee. Oh, my goodness.
Husker Chuck says there's a powder for that. And Dustin wants somebody to clip that.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll definitely clip that for you.
No, people can clip it on YouTube themselves now.
Okay.
They shared just the clip.
Mm-hmm.
Dustin, I think you have your homework. Let's take a look at the starred comments from before. Husker Chuck says, I was very worried about this game. I'm feeling better as the game approaches, but still a tinge of concern. And also says no rain in College Park until 9 o'clock. High in the 60s with light wind. And Kaylee says, Caden keeps hyping OSU. It'll be funny when they also lose to Michigan again.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Caden's around anymore.
I think he left.
Husker Chuck says, new member and wet balls in the same audio file.
Oh, my goodness.
So, well, I'm ready for predictions, Minnie. I don't know about you.
Nope. Here's the deal.
No, you're not ready for predictions?
No.
Oh.
Because I have to go over what the predictions were last week.
That's right.
And don't forget to go over the pick'ems, because I did it this week.
Oh.
And some might be fascinated by my football knowledge. I would like to fascinate you tonight, people. Okay, first of all, congratulations to Corby for guessing the closest to what the score actually was. Score was 38-27 against MSU. We won. He guessed 38-24 Nebraska. So,
very nice.
For that, here.
Now presenting the Holgormaniac champion, brother.
So regal. Just by guessing a score. Look at what you could be getting if you get your score right, guys. Now's your chance.
Now is your chance. So I am currently in 6th place in the ESPN Pick'em. Minnie, you are in 10th place. But in your defense, you have only played 3 weeks. We are coming up on week 7 of college football.
And what did I get last week?
Wait,
Right.
week 6, I think.
6. Week 6.
You got 9 out of 10.
Thank you. The only one I missed was Texas.
Did you pick them to win?
No, I picked the Gators.
Oh, okay. That seems silly.
No, I picked Texas to win. Of course I picked Texas to win. The Gators won. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. I apologize as a Husker fan for ever choosing Texas, but I know some of you also did too.
Joel Risvelt, aka Go Big Red, is still in first place with 440 points. Joe Lalakis is in second place with 360. James Boardman in third place with 340 points. Vince Watson is next with 310. William Jewell is just ahead of me with 290 points. I've got 230. Melissa's got 220. Scott Wesseman's got 210. Matt Snovak has 190. You have 180. Chris Shantz has 120. And Peggy Raji played once, week 1, bowed out.
So, let me just ask you. I missed 3 games. 3. Thanks to you, Greg. Is there any way for me to catch up? Even if I get like 100% right for the rest of the season?
I would think so, because, well, let's put it this way. If you get them all right and I get less than 5 right this week, then you would be ahead of me or we'd be tied.
Oh, so my goal is
you get 10 points for each win. So, yeah.
And you, okay, so I'm only five
games behind me, right?
And you've played every single week?
Yeah, poorly, obviously.
Greg, thank you. You just made me feel so much better.
In week 2, I got 2 out of 10 correct. So, but my picks are in for week 7. They have, I'm not telling you my selections, but the games that they have, the matchups are Alabama, Missouri, Indiana, Oregon, Ohio, Texas. Makes sense. They'd have the Red River Shootout. TCU, Kansas State, Iowa State, and Colorado. They do have Nebraska, Maryland, Georgia, Auburn, Michigan, USC, BYU, Arizona, and Arizona State and Utah. And your tiebreaker is the total points scored in Oregon and Indiana game. So
I have to tell you guys, these are going to be hard games to pick. They sound like very difficult matchups. Arizona and Utah, or ASU and Utah, and Arizona and BYU. Oh, gosh. I don't even know who I would choose in those two.
I can tell you I can't tell you who I choose, but I know who I chose.
Oh, you already picked yours? Okay.
I did. All my picks are locked. So
yeah, this is going to be a great game to watch. I can't wait. That's going to be so good. Indiana travels to Oregon, right?
Make me scroll all the way back up.
Sorry.
Yes.
Ooh. I'm not a Kurt Signetti fan, but I would love for Indiana to beat Oregon.
Really?
I would. I actually would. I don't know if that's going to be my take, but I would like it.
Well, we will find out.
Okay. But now we're talking about Nebraska, Maryland.
Now we need your score predictions for Nebraska, Maryland. I'm surprised that, honestly, this one did not show up on the pick'em. Can Illinois beat Ohio State? They do have a history of beating Ohio State. And Ohio State always has, like, one game that even when they're on track for the national championship, we can say, like, last year was the Michigan game, where they kind of stumble and trip over their own feet. So it is entirely possible, I think, that Illinois could beat Ohio State.
Oh, that's right. Ohio State travels to Illinois
for the Illabuck Trophy, I believe is what it's called.
What does that look like?
I think it's a turtle. It is.
Huh.
It's a wooden turtle trophy. It was originally a live turtle, and I'm not greggling that part. But very early on, like 100 years ago, it was a live turtle, and then the turtle died. So they've been doing a series of carved wooden turtles, and then they etch the victor into the turtle shell when it's all said and done.
Oh, very cool.
All right, I'm scrolling.
Guys, get your scores in.
Come on, y'all.
What was Haas's and Jake's?
Great question. Let's see. Haas originally had Nebraska winning 37-14, but changed that to 28-20 Nebraska.
Okay.
And Jake says, I think this is going to be a shootout. He originally said 41-20, and he upped it to 45-31 Nebraska.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Okay.
And I have mine. I'm ready to go after we get everybody else in.
Okay. I'm going to say I could let you know what our buddy Matt Germack said too.
I know he picked Nebraska.
He said it was going to be close. And I lied. I did not write it down. Gosh dang it.
Well, it's another reminder to go back on YouTube and rewatch Monday Night Therapy with Minnie, Fred, and Matt.
Yeah, it's actually pretty informative, I think. If you want to know kind of what we're looking at as a Husker fan, like I love knowing that. Mm-hmm.
We got a slew of predictions in, so we're going to start. Melissa, I think, had her prediction in. She did before the show. And she said 32-17 Huskers.
Okay.
And BFOTS Josh had to run. He says, in case I have to leave again, which apparently he did, 35-17, good guys, but he always says 35-17, so that's pretty standard for Josh.
I don't even know why I write it down. I don't
Right,
even
Josh?
need to write his down. Yeah, because we always know what his is. If the score is ever 35-17, we'll be like, Josh, guess what? Go buy a lottery ticket.
Right? It finally, and you, by the way, use the same lotto numbers that you've been playing for 15 years because they're finally going to hit. Justin Raji says Huskers 42, Maryland 17. Christopher Shant says Huskers 42, Maryland 23.
Okay.
Husker Chuck says Nebraska 27, Maryland 17. And so close to being identical, but Tony in Minnesota says 21-17 Nebraska.
And Tony, guess what? Next week, it's all about you and your guys. Next week, guys, we play Minnesota.
That's, if Fred were here, he'd say that's how schedules work, Minnie.
But this is going to be really exciting. I hope you come prepared, Tony.
Yeah, it's a Friday night game too.
Thank you. Yeah.
James Boardman says Nebraska 17, Maryland 14. I think that one's going to be a slog.
Okay.
And Work Harder says 32-22 Corn. I'm sorry, 33-22 Corn.
Oh, I like that score. That's really a pretty score.
Kaylee says, I think the mismatches prevail 41-17 Nebraska.
Wait, what did you say that Vegas has us winning by? Was it 2 touchdowns or?
I think we're 7-point favorite.
Okay.
So, let's see. I think we already got Raji's correct. 42-17.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Pitt says 34-17 Nebraska.
So close to Josh's.
Right?
Yes.
Oh, James says the spread is 6.5.
Okay.
And Vince wants to know if Tony's going to be the special guest on Monday.
Oh my gosh, that would be so awesome. I hadn't even thought about that. Tony, do you want to come on?
I thought about it.
Did you? Tony, come.
This is good. Oh, no, that's a different idea. Ignore that idea.
If you do want to come on, all you have to do is email hooch3600@gmail.com. Okay.
That's right.
Well, I don't want you to besmirch Nebraska, but you can definitely talk up. Tell us what Minnesota's positives are this year. There's got to be a couple.
Trojan Fight to interrupt our prediction says, is Nebraska pass defense really worthy of the alleged number 1 pass defense, or have they played bad passing teams like Michigan? Well, they did play Michigan, which is a bad passing team. They played 2 different quarterbacks from Michigan State, and they also did pretty good job against Cincinnati, which, as we're learning as the season goes on, continues to be a more and more quality win. So, say what you want about Houston Christian and Akron, but they just took care of business. They did what they were supposed to do. I don't think it's necessary. Okay. No worries for the interruption. I don't think it's. I'm unsurprised. I'm surprised by it, but statistics don't lie. The numbers don't lie.
So our defensive line was a question before. the season started. I'm just going to go ahead and take this. And they proved all of our questions to be like exclamation marks. Boom. Because guess what? We are that good. You're welcome.
All right. And like Boardman says, Sorsby's lighting it up for Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Back to some scores. Matthew K. 101 says Nebraska 28, Maryland 3.
That confused me that he threw a number in his name.
Oh.
Okay. 28 to 3. Oh my goodness. Matthew K. Good for you, buddy.
Vince Watson says 37-27 GBR. Dustin Waterman says all these high score predictions, it'll probably be 20-17 Nebraska. That definitely seems, in probably one on a field goal in the last 3 minutes or something. And Gary Pierce says Huskers 31-20.
Okay.
And Aaron Keene says 16-10 Nebraska. And did Rostovsky give his prediction?
No.
Come on, Rostovsky.
Waiting on you, buddy.
All right.
So, just as a reminder, the score last week wasn't it like
The final score?
Yeah, for
28-27.
Washington,
Oh, 24-20.
Maryland, 28-20, right? Or
24-20.
24-20. 24-20. Now, I don't think we're going to have I think we're going to be more consistent throughout the entire game. And I don't believe that Maryland is going to score 20 on our defense. So I can see how the score can be a little higher for Nebraska. Let's go with 28-10.
It's a good one.
Thank you. I try. How about you?
I had a feeling, and I said this as much on Sunday, between Haas and Jake in their updated predictions. I said, guys, I just have a feeling that I'm going to fly somewhere in the middle. And where I landed for this game against Maryland is Nebraska winning, naturally, 38-24.
Okay.
And like you, I do think that, that may be giving Maryland more credit than deserved. I don't know.
Do you want to revise that then?
Nah, I'm gonna stick with it. I've locked it in. I've made it public.
He's locked it in. Just because you make it public, if you happen to send an email or a little chat message to Greg to the 5 Heart podcast on X prior to the game starting, and you want to revise your score, it still counts.
That's not true.
It is true. It's true.
They're dropping the link in the comments for the show on X so that you can engage in during the show or during the game if you so choose. And we'll have some fun. Let's go get a win on the East Coast so that in a few weeks we can go get a win on the West Coast. And then we'll just have both the coasts and
covered. Yes.
We'll
coast to coast winners.
That's right. So, Minnie, any final thoughts?
No, I'm excited, Greg. So excited. I don't even know what to do with myself. What time is the game? And where do we watch it? 10:30?
2:30.
2:30. Okay.
2:30 Central, God's favorite time zone.
Okay. Got it.
And where do we watch it is a great question. I don't know. Okay. I haven't seen that article come out on Coronation about how to watch.
Big Ten Network.
So. Ta-da!
Somebody also said FS1.
Then he says dope. So
1970s child, if you're working, here's a pointer. For those of you that may have to work or have children that play stupid games on Saturday, or let's say you have a function that your wife drags you to on a Saturday. Here's what you do.
Little earpieces.
Yes. You take and put in one ear bud and listen to the game on the Husker radio network. You can get that on the Huskers.com website, and it is the best play-by-play. It's almost as good as watching it in person. So that's my little tip to you.
And don't go to any weddings that would be on a college football Saturday.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you're, you don't have a choice, Greg.
Yeah.
Okay.
1970s child appreciates the advice.
You're welcome. I've been there, bud. Totally.
All right. Well, that will do it for this episode of the 5 Heart Podcast. So
yes.
We appreciate all of you spending your evening with us. Thank you so much. And we'll be back here in these very chairs next Thursday, 9 o'clock Central on Coronation's Facebook, YouTube, and X. In the meantime, you'll have Coronation Overreaction Sunday night, 9 o'clock, Monday Night Therapy with Minnie and Fred. And that seems like it's kind of locked in at 9 o'clock Central, correct, Minnie? Or is that
we try? Yes. No, we try. Yep. Yep. Unless I have somebody who lives on the East Coast as the guest, I try and make it not too late for them.
That's very kind of you. And then Huskers Happy Hour with Andy Ketterson Tuesdays. And I don't know what time that starts. I think 8. So that'll do it for this episode of the 5 Heart Podcast. Thank you all so much for my wonderful shared hosting duties and great friend Minnie Hunt. I'm Greg Mahochko. This is the 5 Heart Podcast. We remind you each and every week that 5 Heart is all the heart you need. Minnie?
Yeah, and beat those Maryland Terrapins to a pulp on Saturday and go Big Red.